Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevon Albright.
And I'm Liz Schulter. In our top story tonight, the time has finally arrived. 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, the basketball season will officially kick off with Marquette Madness. Several activities will take place, including a scrimmage and a dunk and karaoke contest. Former Marquette players expected to be in the audience include Jimmy Butler, Lazar Hayward, Wes Matthews, and many others. The action-packed night is somewhat of a reward to those who recently completed boot camp on Wednesday. Doors open at 6:40, but fans usually start lining up around 4 to try to get the best seats. Everyone receives a t-shirt at the gate, but we'll make sure you stay till the very end to support the team.
Monday, October 17th, marks the opening for the new Marquette Sports Rehabilitation Clinic located in Kramer Hall. The clinic will offer physical therapy and athletic training services, x-rays, and bone density scans. Everyone interested in getting a tour of the new facilities should contact the Department of Physical Therapy.
This morning, we're seeing Alderman Keith Fair appeared in court. The judge waived a preliminary hearing on charges that he assaulted a pregnant woman. Fair says the allegations are without merit and could even be racially motivated. Prosecutors say he struck and choked a woman who worked at his bar to the point where she couldn't breathe. The woman was 8 weeks pregnant at the time. If he is convicted, Fair could lose his job and get up to 7 years in prison. The alderman is scheduled to return to court in November. Milwaukee will be the first city in Wisconsin to offer bilingual ballots. Nearly 250 other cities and towns across America have made the change to offer the bilingual voting information. For the first time, the federal government is requiring Milwaukee to provide ballots and other voting information in Spanish. This comes after federal rules to the Voting Rights Act to require voting material in different language based on the percentage of a minority population living in a certain area. Nearly 18% of people living in Milwaukee are Hispanic.
The protests continued today on Wall Street and around the country, speaking out against corporate America. WCBS TV's Tony Asilio has the story.
Signs and raised a ruckus as they marched through the land of the ladies who lunch.
Hey, you millionaires, pay your fair share!
Some of the Occupy Wall Street crowd traveled uptown to join several hundred activists and union members in a millionaires march.
We're living in a time when I've never seen so much shameless greed.
They targeted the homes of 5 ultra-rich business tycoons who live on the Upper East Side: Rupert Murdoch, David Koch, Howard Milstein, John Paulson, and Jamie Dimon, to illustrate how they'll benefit when New York's so-called millionaires tax expires in December.
It's crazy to be cutting services for homeless kids to give more money to Rupert Murdoch. We should stop that.
Their ire aimed at politicians from both major parties, including the Democratic governor who fought to end the millionaires tax.
So what's your message to Governor Cuomo?
To stop protecting the millionaires and the billionaires and to help the people. Stop working for the people because we put him in office.
Watching it all, some who found the protests misguided.
Some of their complaints to me is kind of off base because, you know, if you really want to create jobs, you don't try to protest the people that are trying to create them.
I don't think you can justify, labeling rich people one way and people that are not rich another way.
Yesterday, 19 protesters were arrested after they entered the Milwaukee office of U.S. Senator Ron Johnson to demand a meeting with him. It is reported that the demonstrators were upset with Johnson after he voted against the American Jobs Act. Johnson states that he voted against the act because economic expansion must come from the private sector, not the government. Coming up next on MUTV News, more recall elections could be coming to the state of Wisconsin. I can't believe that. I feel like we just went through the whole round a few months ago. Now we're having more.
Right.
Well, we'll tell you what that's all about next when we return. Welcome back to MUTV News. A lack of volunteers has slowed the effort to recall Sheboygan's Mayor Bob Ryan. Recall organizers are facing a November 1st deadline. So far, about 2,700 signatures have been collected. The recall effort was launched after Mayor Bob Ryan's latest episode of public drunkenness. The Common Council is also investigating misconduct allegations against Ryan.
More recalls of Wisconsin state senators are on the way. Republicans currently hold a 17-16 majority of the Senate following recalls this summer in which Democrats ousted two Republican incumbents. Republican Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald said that Democrats, including the Minority Leader Mark Miller, may also be targeted. 3 Democrats survived recalls this summer.
Republican Attorney J.B. Van Hollen sent a new rule to Governor Scott Walker, requesting the completion of at least 4 hours of training in order to carry a concealed weapon in Wisconsin, despite objections from the National Rifle Association and Republican lawmakers. When passed in the legislature, training was required, but not a set number of hours. The law, set to be implemented on November 1st, states that concealed weapons will be legal in most buildings except schools, police stations, and courthouses, unless a sign is posted specifically banning them. Walker is currently reviewing Van Hollen's request.
Department of Natural Resources headquarters met with Shorewood gas station owner this morning after determining his station was the source of a gas leak last week. Gas station owner Syed Rizvi said that he recently had work done at the station involving the pipes. Now, Rizvi has to hire an environmental consultant to come up with a plan to clean up the gas station's leak and submit a new work plan for the DNR. He also must notice the DNR if any environmental problems arise at the site. Rizvi says he does not have a copy of any reports concerning the results of the investigation.
The search continues for a 91-year-old Miles Lepla, who was last seen on Tuesday, October 4th, at Cedar Springs Health and Rehabilitation Center visiting his wife. Family members say Lepla is in good mental health, and nothing was out of the ordinary that day when he went missing, other than he was complaining of a cold. They asked the public to keep an eye out for him. Lepla drives a light blue Mercury Marquis, and his picture can now be seen on the screen. On a similar note, authorities in Kansas City are frantically searching tonight for a missing infant. KMBC's Peggy Bright has an update on the search.
Police brought out ATVs and search dogs to Coleman area between 210 and 36th Street, North Brighton to Searcy Creek Parkway. The people in these nearby townhomes have watched it before.
Where is the baby? Seriously, where's the baby? That is what makes me so sad and makes you have that feeling in your stomach the more time that goes by that the outcome is just not going to be good.
Christy Mormino has been watching it unfold outside her front door for 9 days now. On the first day, she says, officers went door to door through here, asking a lot of questions. They looked through dumpsters too. The day Lisa was reported missing was a Tuesday, and Tuesday is trash day around here. Police continue to have a strong and steady presence in their neighborhood. Christy says that's fine by her, except that she knows it means today is a search for a body. As for who took Lisa from her home, Christy says she's torn between 2 theories, that mom had a role in it and that a stranger is responsible.
Every half an hour you go, she had nothing to do with this, and then on the other hand you're going, well, you know, things aren't adding up, and so you want to believe that there's not a crazy person out there who's taking babies, but you also want to believe the mom too.
Meanwhile, the searches go on. This one prompted not by a tip, but by police wanting to be sure that they haven't missed anything in this whole area.
Grateful that they're being thorough.
Let's take a look at stocks. It was a rough day on Wall Street for the Dow, which dropped 41 points today, closing at under 11,500. The Nasdaq was up 16 points, closing the day at over 2,600 points. Finally, the S&P was down by 4 points and closing at nearly 1,200 points. Stocks have been going up and down, fluctuating a lot.
I know, if they could just keep going up, we'd be set. You know, life would be good.
Next, we'll have an update on the deadly salon shooting in California. MUTV News will be right back.
MUTV News Thursday night. Well, a tragic scene yesterday in Ocean County, California.
Shortly after the arrival of our officers, One of our officers observed the suspect who had been described by a witness leaving the parking lot. The suspect was taken into custody within a half a mile of this location, and we do believe he is the only suspect at this time, so he is in custody.
Seal Beach acting chief of police yesterday, shortly after suspect Scott DeCry was taken into custody. On Wednesday, DeCry opened fire in a salon where his ex-wife works, killing 8 people. Tonight, new details are emerging that may point to a motive. In May, DeCry's ex-wife filed court papers claiming he was mentally unstable and had threatened to kill himself or someone else. Further records revealed that DeCry's ex-wife claimed he was physically abusive and has anger management issues. DeCry and his ex-wife are in the midst of a bitter custody battle over their 7-year-old son. They were in court just this past Tuesday.
Rajat, the founder of hedge fund management group Galleon, was convicted of 5 counts of conspiracy and 9 counts of insider trading this May. Today, Rajat received a $10 million fine from a U.S. district judge. Rajat made well over $50 million in profits from his illegal trades. The Sri Lanka-born businessman was ordered to report to a prison on November 28th.
When we come back, we'll have a look at the weather for this weekend. Will keep raining or will it clear up? I really hope it clears up because I'm sick of the rain. It was only one day, but I'm sick of it. Well, we'll have the answer up next.
Campus news source.
Welcome back to MUTV News on Thursday night. My name is Rachel Landgraf, and let's have a look at the weather today. Today, the temperature was 77 degrees with a dew point of 54 degrees, a humidity of 46, and a barometer reading of 30. Winds today were coming from the north at 3.14 miles per hour. And for 9 a.m. classes tomorrow, it's going to be 58 degrees with winds coming from the southeast at 10 miles per hour. And for our high today, it was 76 degrees with a low of 54. The average is 54 degrees and 35 degrees with records at 82 degrees in 2000 and 15 degrees in 1996. Our sunrise today, let's look at the nation temperatures. In Minneapolis, we have a 74. And down in Texas, we have 84 degrees. Over in Illinois, we have 73 degrees, Tennessee, 81, and up in the New York area, we have 67 degrees. And in Wisconsin, in Eau Claire, it was 72 degrees, Wausau, 63, Green Bay, 72, Milwaukee was the high with 77, and in Madison, it was 71 degrees. Tonight, it's partly cloudy with degrees of 54. The winds are coming at 6 miles per hour from the southeast. And for tomorrow for 9 a.m. classes, we are going to expect some afternoon showers with a temperature of 71 degrees. The winds are going to be 9 miles per hour coming from the southeast. And let's look at our 5-day forecast. For Wednesday, we have 71 degrees with some afternoon showers with a low of 54. On Thursday, we have 60 degrees with some thunderstorms and a low of 44 degrees. Friday, 58 windy with a low 41. Saturday, 58 sunny with 40. And Sunday, 63 partly sunny, 43 degrees for a low. And now let's toss it to Downey with sports.
Thanks, Rachel. Well, the Brewers went into Cardinal territory for Game 3, and they didn't want to be caught red-handed. Plus, more on the MLB playoffs and Marquette Athletics. Don't go away. Sports will be right back. We talked Brewers. They went down 12-3 in Game 2 at Miller Park. Now the road doesn't get easier for them as they head to St. Louis for Game 3. And in Game 3 didn't get easier because the Squirrel memorabilia came out to play. As you can see on the screen, Rally Squirrel coming out there, and it's Busch Stadium. They got to love those Squirrels. Came in the NLDS, but Albert Pujols has been an MVP candidate here in this NLCS. A 2-run double here to left center, taking a 2-0 lead. But still in that first, Cardinals third baseman David Freese gives his team a 4-0 lead with this RBI double that goes over the head of Corey Hart. Corey Hart has been benched in this game, Game 4, because of his bad play so far in the season. But we go straight to the bottom half of that inning, and Mark Kotsay got into that game because of Carlos Gomez and Nigel Morgan not playing well. Hits this off of Carpenter, 5 of 12 in his career, had 2 walks in the game and a homer. But Jason Mott came in the 9th, and he wasn't able to do anything to the Brewers lineup as they scored 4 scoreless innings. Yuniesky Betancourt struck out there, and Casey McGee is going to strike out here to take the game 4-3. After the game, Ron Renicky talked about how this team is not quitting into the next series.
No, whether we're down 2-1, I still feel good with our club. This is a good club we're playing, and you know, when you make mistakes like we did the first inning, they're gonna get their hits. They're gonna score some runs, and you know, I expected offensively. I thought we were going to be able to come back, and we weren't able to do it.
And we go straight to the American League, where Jim Leland would bring his Tigers trying to come back in this ALCS because the Texas Rangers, even with all the rain delay, would come in here and do some great things. If we can get the highlights, that would be great.
Thanks God because he gave me the chance to perform in that situation. It's not easy. Like people ask me if it's that easy. I guess if you could swing and good result is gonna come.
As you can see, Nelson Cruz talking about how he's had these home run heroics, and I tell you, if it wasn't for him, the Texas Rangers wouldn't be able to advance so far. 3 home runs so far in the postseason. So we talk a little bit of Marquette Athletics here on MUTV News, the sports edition. So let's talk about how the men's soccer team defeated number 12 Notre Dame to be able to advance to 4-0 in the Big East Conference, and the women's volleyball team lost to Middle Tennessee State in 3 sets. The Golden Eagles beat Middle Tennessee 3-1 at the Al McGuire Center on September 16th. And remember, Marquette Madness is this Friday. If you want to watch it tomorrow at 7 p.m. in the Al McGuire Center, log on to www.gomarquette.com. Click on the Watch Live link. We'll have all that coverage for you. But girls, I'm going to send it back to the Ballers because that's what they do.
Thanks, Donnie. We appreciate the sports. And finally tonight, we'll all learn from a young age to always call 911 in an emergency, such as a fire or a robbery. But most people probably never think to call to report being lost in a corn maze. CNN's Jean Moose has the story.
What was that?
Maze, you don't know which way to turn. Darkness is falling. Who you gonna call? 911.
I'm really scared. It's really dark, and we got a 3-week-old baby with us.
Relax, calm down. Your husband's with you, right?
Yes, but my baby.
You'd think she was being stalked by the corn. A Massachusetts woman, her husband, and 2 kids got lost and called Danvers police an hour after the 6 p.m. closing time at the Connors Farm maze. And we all know from the movies how spooky cornfields can get, especially after dark. When you fall into the clutches of demonic corn, actually the killer corn wasn't attacking, but
the mosquitoes eating us alive.
Some folks celebrate getting lost.
We're at the field, we're ready to start. Getting lost is the greatest part.
Oh yeah?
We thought this would be fun. Instead, it's a nightmare.
Can I talk to your husband?
The dispatcher told the man to yell to the canine unit that was arriving at the maze to look for the lost family.
Say hello, canine.
Hello, canine.
At one point, the lost dad took the dispatcher so literally, he even repeated the say.
Say it again so he can eat because he can't see you. So say hello, canine.
Hello, canine!
Hello, canine! Hello, canine! It took a total of at least 10 hello canines.
Hello, canine! Hello, canine!
Keep going, sir. Give him something
Hello,
to do.
canine! Hello, canine!
Finally, towards the end of the 7.5-minute call,
We see light.
the canine unit officer said he found the family about 25 feet from the entrance. If they get this lost in a corn maze, next thing you know, they'll be calling 911 from the maze at IKEA.
Embarrassing.
The manager of the farm offered the couple free tickets to come back again.
They didn't answer, but their faces went,
Never again.
The maze depicts an image of the headless horseman, but compared to the lost couple, the horseman kept his head. Ginny Mose,
Hello, canine!
CNN,
Hello, canine!
New York.
Well, there's just a note to you to be careful in those corn mazes this Halloween because apparently anything can happen in there. So watch out, guys. Watch out.
Creepers, creepers.
Yeah, right. Well, thanks for joining us all tonight on MUTV News Thursday night. We'll see you again next week. Have a great weekend.